Ladies and gentlemen, mostly dudes, today we're talking about the new Milwaukee M12 6-inch sander. Alright, so starting off, this one right here is the 3/16 stroke. It's the more aggressive of the two strokes. I don't remember what the other one is, and I can't be bothered to look it up because I'm not a good YouTuber. Bought this with my own money. Like, you can see how many followers I have. Like, they didn't pay me for this, obviously. And to be clear too, like I'm just gonna start off, I'm not brand loyal. Like, the only brand I'm loyal to is my own. I think fanboying is stupid. I have DeWalt, I have Milwaukee, I have Bosch, I have all sorts of stuff. But yeah, they got me. It looked too good to be true. I had to try it. But I didn't just want to unbox it and give you an opinion. I wanted to actually use the thing. So I've actually got about 19 hours on it. I did time that. A ton of cabinet doors that I built. I've sanded painted surfaces with it. I've sanded hardwood surfaces with it. I've sanded poplar, maple, walnut. So yeah, I've used this thing quite a bit to where I feel like I can give you like an honest opinion on it, okay? So just to kind of clean some things up, what I'm comparing it to. So my other 6-inch sander is actually this Bosch. It's similar to the Festool Rotex. It has a turbo mode. I use this thing all the time. I absolutely love it. And then the 5-inch sander I use is this Festool. It's the ETS 125 REQ. And the only sandpaper I use is the 3M Extract sanding nuts. I absolutely love that stuff. So that's what I used on this sander, and this sander, obviously. For dust collection, I don't have a fancy extractor. It's just like a 6.5 horsepower rigid through a dust deputy, through a normal hose. So that way you just kind of get, this is what I'm basing my comparison off of. Like I said, I use and abuse this thing quite a bit, and I have to say, there are some things that I like a lot, some things that I don't really care for. But one thing I do like a lot is just the fit and finish of this thing. This is a sexy tool, I have to say. It's very well designed. It's very lightweight, even compared to this one with a battery in it. It feels as light, if not lighter, than my 5-inch Festool, which I'm impressed with. Also, I feel like they really nailed the ergonomics on it, which Milwaukee doesn't always nail the ergonomics for some reason. If you've ever seen my installation driver video, you would know that I complain quite a bit about that. And but yeah, this one, fantastic ergonomics. I really like the way it just sits in the hand, the way you grip it. Honestly, very little vibration. It's very comfortable to use. And the other thing is it doesn't really dart around. I used to have their M18 sander and I hated that thing. I ended up selling it. It was bad. It would just kind of jerk you this way, that way. It left a ton of swirls. I really was unhappy with that. Got rid of it quickly. But this one, yeah, totally different. And no real swirling. I have to say it's given like a thoroughly professional finish. I've had no issues with that whatsoever. Right up there with the Festool and the Bosch. It is the more aggressive sander, so yeah, it will remove material very quickly. And it's very easy to control. You know, it's not very loud. Obviously, when I'm using it, I have earplugs in because I got a shop vac running. But it itself is not very loud. The dust collection is okay. I guess I'm not the best person to compare that because I don't have the best setup, but I would say not quite as good as the Festool, but on par with the Bosch. Also, because of the stroke and the bigger sanding pad, the 6-inch, it's making more dust than the Festool. So that issue might be my shop vac compared to like an extractor. So if dust collection is the only thing you're thinking about, I'm probably not the guy to answer that for you. So let's kind of get into some of the knocks here. Some of the things that I don't like about it. I would say the biggest thing is the battery sander. And I know I bought a battery sander. I knew that. And I've had them before and didn't like them, but it's kind of like that, you know, that one girl that, oh man, I haven't talked to her in a while and she was hot, did that thing I like. So you call her up, she visits your dorm. And you know, the next morning you're like, man, why'd I stop talking to her? And then some other girl texts you, she goes through your phone, she throws it at the wall. It's a BlackBerry because it's 2008. And then she keys your truck and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That's the part I forgot. So yeah, I generally don't like battery sanders, but this is kind of like the king of battery sanders. That said, it does go through some batteries. I have 11 of these M12 batteries. I don't have any high outputs, and maybe I should have bought high outputs and put those to the test with it. But I have one 4 amp, a bunch of 2.0s, a bunch of 1.5s. I have been able to sand all day long because with 4 chargers, I can charge batteries up as fast as I'm draining them. Not as fast, but fast enough that I can keep going. It does get a little bit warm, and the batteries come out a little bit warm. They need a little bit of a cool down before you can actually charge them up. So yeah, it does drink through some batteries. Also, there's a definite, it starts off gangbusters, and then probably about halfway through you'll feel a drop of power out of the sander. When I first started testing this, I just started with all my batteries fully charged and ran them to all the way dead, which is dumb. But I just wanted to see how many cabinet doors I could get sanded doing that with 80 grit, like my rough sand. And the answer was 14 out of the 36 doors that I did. So after that, I stopped running them to completely dead, and I just cycled through them. And then the other thing with it, the batteries, is also, they're not easy. They're not easy to remove from this thing. Like seriously, there we go. And then you kind of gotta like tap the mag to get it back in. I don't know if it's just my sander. I don't know if they did that because it cuts down on vibration. They didn't want this thing flying out on you. I'm not sure. It's not like a deal breaker. It's just something to kind of be aware of. The one thing that is kind of a deal breaker for me is I can't stand this paddle. You have an on and off switch, and then the paddle turns it on and off. My issue with it is I like to hold my sander different ways. I like to switch hands as I'm going. If you're sanding like countertops or huge tabletops, sometimes you're there for hours. It gets uncomfortable, and being like forced to kind of do that number and hold it a certain way, I don't really care for that. The other thing is when you're sanding something on an edge, it's kind of easy to not get your pressure right. So I don't like the paddle at all. I wish they would completely do away with that. I'll never buy a Merca for that reason. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it spins down for like a long time afterwards too. I did have one instance where it shut off on me. I don't know what happened. I was sanding away and I didn't overheat it. It was the normal warmness that it has. Suddenly it just turned off, and the light bar here was just twinkling. So I pulled the battery out, popped it back in, and it started working fine again after that. No other problems. So, all of that said, I thoroughly tested the thing, and should you buy it? Well, if you are looking for your only sander, I would say no. I would say absolutely not. I don't think anyone should just have a battery sander for their primary sander. Also, this is like $300. This is not a cheap sander. So, yeah, if you're looking for like your primary, you're going to use this everyday sander, I would not buy it personally. Maybe if you have a ton of high outputs, then okay, I could see it. But no, I think that your everyday sander should be corded. That being said, Milwaukee, if you see this, please make a corded version of this, because in my opinion, if you have a corded version of this sander right here, as good as it is, this would be the best sander on the market, better than my Festool by a lot. The lack of vibration, the ease of use, all of that was fantastic. As far as value of it goes, yeah, $300 is a lot of money for what is a very overpowered battery sander. It's still a battery sander. That said, if you're just a tool nerd and you're on the Milwaukee platform and you want a battery sander for the same reasons I do, job sites, things like that, yeah, it's expensive. It's definitely worth the money, but the money is probably too much for what you actually need it for. So would I buy it again, knowing what I know now? Probably not, just to be completely honest with you. Is it awesome? Yes, it's absolutely awesome. I'm gonna be the coolest guy on the job site with this thing for sure. But yeah, I think I'm just excited to see Milwaukee taking this direction with more of the woodworking tools and things like that. That gets me really excited. I hope that they do come out with a corded version of this. I don't think they will, because they seem to have a very cut the cord type mentality. But yeah, it's a great sander. It's balanced well, this or that, but I don't know. It's like, do you need the BMW, or can you just get by with the Chevy? I don't know. This is the practical business owner side of me. So yeah, maybe this wasn't super helpful. Maybe it was. Maybe you'll run out and buy it. Maybe you'll save some money. That being said, if you found this useful at all, or if you just enjoyed it, Do me a favor, like and subscribe. That would really help me out big time. Also, I've done a lot of other cool videos, so check those out too. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thank you.